going on, y'all? BBQ Dropout here. If you want the written version, head on over to bbqdropout.com. So if you're wondering how long you should be preparing or cooking your brisket in a slow cooker on the high setting, just know that in my opinion and in my experience, that would be classifying it as like a hot and fast type of cook. And that can generally be broken down into about a 2 pound per hour cook time metric. So let's say you have like a 10-pound piece of brisket that you can actually fit inside of a slow cooker. And in my opinion, that's kind of being generous because slow cookers aren't that big to fit an entire piece of brisket in there. But let's say you have like a 10-pound piece of brisket, you want to cook that thing on high and then pull it off the slow cooker when it reaches like 200 degrees in internal temperature. That's probably going to take like 5+ hours or so, give or take. And in my opinion, that's actually not that bad when you consider it's a 10-pound piece of meat and you're effectively cutting the cooking time in half versus cooking it on low. And especially in a slow cooker, I mean, the difference between the two is like just a click of a button. And in my opinion, the results between the two, like in terms of like cooking a brisket on high versus low, is pretty similar. In other words, you know, why not try to save yourself some time, cook the thing on high. The results are going to come out just as good, if not better, than anything cooked on low. Obviously, you want to pay close attention to like how the piece of meat is reacting and like how quick it comes up to temp. You want to pay very close attention to that because the internal temp can like skyrocket pretty quickly as opposed to being on low. But that's really the only discrepancy. And so when you try to guesstimate how long everything is going to take, generally speaking, cooking it on high versus low is going to take half as long than cooking it on low. And so for that 10-pound piece of brisket, for the cooking time, it's going to be about 5-6 hours, give or take. And then you also want to budget like another hour to prepare the brisket, let the slow cooker come up to temp, especially if it's on high. And then you also want to rest the brisket for about like another 3+ hours or until the temperature reaches like 165 in internal temperature. And if you follow all those different steps and kind of like leverage, like it's going to take like an hour for it to everything to be prepared and like actually placed inside the cooker. And then for the cooking portion, it's going to take like 2 pounds per hour cook time plus another 3 hours to rest. After all that, after like 8+ hours, give or take, your brisket's going to be ready and it's going to taste phenomenal. But if you don't follow those steps, and if you don't rest your brisket in particular, or pull it out of the cooker at the right internal temp of 200 degrees Fahrenheit, your brisket's going to come out really bad, really dry. And so that's why you want to kind of just plan ahead, make sure you're not rushing yourself, give yourself plenty of time, because you can always rest your brisket longer than 3+ hours. So if you can kind of just like understand how long your brisket's going to take to cook through, just let it rest for at least 3 hours and it's going to come out awesome. So find that helpful, appreciate it. And I'll catch you on the next one. See ya.